There were 3.2 million Trump voters in New York State. That's a deep blue state with over 3 million red voters. I mean, what are you going to do? Move them all out to where? Wyoming? I mean, it becomes where an impossible thing where we're going to have to leave millions of conservatives behind. And it's really just unlikely that even the ones who want to move, I want to move, and I'm still kind of stuck in where I am for at least the short term. So it's more like logistics that I really don't think can happen here. And I also just don't want to give up on our cities. Like, why should I surrender New York City because crazy people have decided that they're in charge? It wasn't that long ago that Rudy Giuliani was mayor, and Michael Bloomberg after him, not a Democrat either. Really not that wild to imagine that New York, unfortunately might hit that rock bottom again and go back to Republican leadership.
Joining me now to talk about national divorce, as he and I do often, and many other things, my friend Dave Reaboi. He is with Late Republican Nonsense on Substack. Or Late Republic Nonsense. Go subscribe to Dave's Substack. You're going to find it more interesting than about 99% of the writers out there. He's also a senior fellow at Claremont Institute. Dave, I know she's not here, but she doesn't bring up bad points. I'm a national divorce guy too. Obviously, you were talking about this before I ever brought it up. But she doesn't bring up bad points. Where's she wrong?
No, she doesn't. I don't think she's wrong at all if she's talking about today. At this moment, she's completely correct. I think the way I look at national divorce is that it's a process over long term. A lot of the objections that she makes are completely valid. They're all kind of logistical issues. And I think these logistical issues, as we go on, are either going to sort themselves out, really, or not, based on the motivations of the people. Yes, if it's kind of bad in New York and New Jersey and California, I don't know, maybe some people will leave, maybe other people will stay. But if it's really bad, more people will leave and more people will decide that it's just too crazy to stay. So I think, in my piece, I was talking about the general trend lines and saying, and at the very end, I said, no, this isn't an action plan. It's not something that we press the button and we do tomorrow. But I really do think that it's important that we keep talking about this because, for a number of reasons. The biggest reason is more Americans need to understand that we have huge things dividing us in terms of how we feel about the most basic things, and these things are philosophical and they manifest themselves in political issues every day, and they are the reason for our disunion. And it's no surprise. And you know what? I mean, in many ways, I'll just say, okay, I'm not going to put down what the left believes necessarily. I'm just going to say, go and have your worldview, and as long as I can have mine.
I also don't think the American people, including most of the right, are ready mentally for it. Why aren't they ready, Dave? I suspect, and this is just a theory, obviously you can shoot me down, you do often when I say stupid things. I suspect it has more to do with tradition and fear of change than anything else. When you bring up a breaking up America, people on the right are obviously much more patriotic. Why? I love America. And then there's what does this mean for me and my family and my supermarket chains? Am I off base there?
Not at all. I think you're completely right. I think that, there's a natural inclination, especially from folks who are kind of temperamentally conservative, kind of spiritually conservative, is, they don't like change. And also, as you said, they're American patriots, and they grew up with this idea that, frankly, was kind of silly, which is that the United States is going to be here forever, which is not really a thing. It's not really a thing that regimes will last forever. They come and go like all human things. Once you recognize that there will be an end at some point, okay, fine. Now the discussion is about when that end comes.
Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.